All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the City of Parker's second workshop. Are you recording, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay, great. We will call a roll to get started.
Absolutely. Ms. Barrow? Here. Ms. Waterford?
Here.
Mr. Chappell?
Here.
Mr. Hayes absent. Mayor Kelly?
Yes, here, thank you. You have to work with me today. I have my eyes dilated. I can't see everything. The regular agenda tonight is one item and one item only, and that is part two of the discussion for the, what do we call it? The infrastructure fees. This is for the new water and sewer. Impact fees, I'm sorry. So I guess, where do you want to begin, Mr. Summerlin? Anywhere? Pick up where we left off last week? Some of these folks weren't here.
Basically, what the city's proposing is that we're going to increase our water impact fee from 500 to 1,000, and we're going to increase our sewer impact fee from 1,400 to 2,000.
That's for new construction, is that right?
For only new construction that
Right.
doesn't have already development.
Okay.
And the reason for that, Tony, is that we are behind on catching up to.
Per the engineered
demand.
study that we had hired the firm to present to us, we are extremely behind on the average cost of impact fees in the county, and we are still making a recommendation below their recommendation, but equal with our surrounding cities.
Okay, very good.
But that's the extraordinary circumstance as
Well,
to
there's-
why you're doing it now.
Well, the main extraordinary circumstance of why we're doing it now is that we're fixing to have a SRF project kick off June 1st. We don't know what the city's going to encounter in that project. We don't know what our capacity or demand issues might be as that project goes on. So we're going to learn a lot through the year as that project kicks off where our shortfalls are, and we're going to have to leverage the impact fee money that we have currently against other grants to try to fix those issues and be ready for the growth that Parker's coming for. Is coming to Parker. It's coming already. We've already made some changes, but we have other contractors that have spoke with us and have told us that what their plans are, and we have projects in review right now that are going to increase the demand on our sewer system and other places, which will likely involve us having to increase the pump sizes in those lift stations, which is approved expenditure of impact fees. If we have to increase the pumps and increase the pipes, then that's what infrastructure money's spent on. And ultimately, we've just been letting the infrastructure money sit and roll over every year till we could have enough to try to leverage against grants to make it worthwhile spending it.
Just out of curiosity for the record, people have said that we're not very clear with the infrastructure money. Where's that money stored? Where's that money kept?
It's in a separate banking account.
Separate, untouched trust account. Doesn't go into the budget to be spent, does it?
No, you
It's in a
see
separate account.
In the budget, and everybody that gets a copy of the budget sees the revenue come in from
Right.
impact fees.
Right.
But the budget, as far as I've been here and as far as the city council been here, has never budgeted expending the impact fees in the budget.
Right. Also, it came to my attention that some people feel like we're doing illegal things with that money, spending it on things that it's not allocated for. That's not the case, is it?
We haven't spent any.
And if I buy an old house and I have it bulldozed and the water and sewer is already there and I build a new house, do I still pay an impact fee?
You do not collect any impact fee unless you actually change the water
That's right.
demand. If
The
you increase,
demand, yeah.
you'll get an impact fee. But if it's existing or
Okay.
it's already developed, you will not get an impact fee.
That's right. And if we did change the impact, those revenues would go in the same account as held in reserve right now for the impact fees that come in from new construction, correct?
Correct.
All right. I open the floor to anybody that has any questions for the Public Works Director. Now, you know we had a real good meeting last week.
We need to go up there or just?
Yes, you got to come to the podium. So state your name and address for the record, and you've got 3 minutes.
I got 3 minutes, okay. Kurt Hartog, I'm the president of the BBIA, Builders Association here in town. Really just a couple questions. We did mention that there's a separate account for the impact fee. Now, is that two separate accounts, one for water, one for sewer, or are they combined? Sewer and water in one account?
I can't answer that question without the accountant.
I just
BBI,
curious.
well, I'll find out for you, and I'll get somebody to call you.
Okay, sounds good. Secondly, are there any type of exemptions for
No.
this impact?
None.
Would there be the possibility for the council to approve exemptions for this impact? and I'm only asking a couple circumstances, affordable housing being one, or, Mr. Kelly, we've worked together on some Habitat for Humanity. Would there ever be something where Habitat could apply for a permit and these fees could be waived?
Let me ask you this, yes, we have worked on Habitat, and, my opinion would be that if Habitat built a house, they could bring a letter to the city council and we would vote on that at that time.
Okay,
Because, let's face it, they do it all for free.
okay,
But we've not had anybody from Habitat approach us and that I've been mayor ever,
okay,
so.
okay, well, certainly an option.
And
Yes,
I'll just add to that, it also states that the city council has at any time the ability to waive impact fees for any developer or leverage the impact fees for replacement of pipes. and
Correct.
fees.
okay, so that's
That's in the
all it does.
ordinance.
Yeah, so that.
And it's already
that rides with
posted
it.
on the internet.
Okay, very good, very good. Really, that's all the questions I had. I just do appreciate, I wasn't here for the last meeting, but I do appreciate your input and
Well-
taking a hard look at this. And we understand,
Yeah.
there's costs involved.
Well, we had a
when you
great
do this.
meeting with Mr. Anderson, and he had been misled. People had come to this meeting a couple meetings ago and gave him erroneous information, and we wanted to be as clear as we possibly could. Transparency is important to us, and so we wanted to be clear with everybody for the reason, that's the reason we had these meetings. And he talked to me after the last meeting and told me that he had been fed erroneous information.
Okay.
So it's good to go.
All right, very good, thank you.
All right, thank you. Anybody? Council?
Tony, I would just say, the items that are in the statute of 163.31801, which talks about the different elements of the impact fees and how they're collected and how they're used, and the report that you got from Rural Water, all of that complies with that statute, correct?
For those of you that weren't here, the guy from Rural Water came from Tallahassee to speak at our last meeting, but nobody asked him any questions, and nothing has changed since then, so. If nobody has anything else, yes, sir.
Do have another one. We've been working closely with Panama City on their new transportation impact fee. And one of the things in their ordinance is that there is a 7-year, if the money's not spent or earmarked in 7 years, that it has to be returned to the people who paid that fee.
We wouldn't
Is-
do that, but not
Okay, I
this.
didn't know if that was a Florida statute, because it sounded like
No.
that was a statute.
Reason is this, is because if you do what we plan to do, that revenue as it comes in, you can levy it against other grants.
And that's
So
kind
you
of
can take
what-
100
okay.
grand and make it 250,000, you know?
So you'll have it encumbered somewhere. around.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And that's
Just
the
curious
same
'cause
for all
it's-
of the money we get in public works, or anybody's really, yeah.
Thank you.
Mr. Summerlin?
Let me just add, the impact fee that we receive is very minimal compared to other cities. We don't have the land available that the other cities have. So you have to look at what, you could probably Google it and look and figure out how many lots are available for sale in Parker right now that don't have a house on them or do have a house on
Or
them.
did have a house on
Or
them?
if they did have a house on them, then they're irrelevant.
That's
since they've
irrelevant,
already
yeah.
paid. But if you look at the vacant land, and then most of the vacant land that's in Parker is not for sale. And it might not ever be for sale until these people die.
Right.
So we're not looking at bringing in a plentiful amount of money this year or next year due to the fact that we just don't have, you might have half a dozen houses a year and you take half a dozen, 6 times 3, it's $18,000 a year that we might bring in.
May.
Bring in, unless we have some large scale, huge development that's gonna come in, but then that development's only based on their meter size. So if they feed the apartment complex off of 2-inch meter, the impact fee is only be multiplied off of that.
Yeah.
So like I said, I don't see us generating a whole lot of money for this, but what little bit of land we have left, we need to try to be able to maximize what little bit we can get. And by the statute changing this fee right now, we can't change this fee again for 4 years.
Yeah, it's got a 4-year lock, yeah. Okay, this will conclude our second and final workshop. The second reading is next Tuesday, correct?
No, you've already had a second reading. If you're gonna adopt it, it would be next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday, okay.
Huh?
So it'll,
Only had a first reading.
I thought you had a second reading also.
Just the first
Okay, I'm sorry, Mayor.
I thought,
My mistake.
yeah, I'm losing my mind. Not you,
No,
Mr. Sloan.
I may be losing mine too. All right, so you can have a second reading and adoption at the same meeting?
Correct. Then that could be next Tuesday, right?
Yes, sir.
Yep. All right. Nothing else, ladies and gentlemen? All right, very good. Thank you.